There are conflicting reports. Ornstein's come out saying that the board is still backing Slot and there is no intention to get rid of the Liverpool coach, while others are saying that Xabi Alonso has a deal in place and has started looking for houses in Liverpool, and also look at our Champions League hopes and what it could mean for not just this season, but also next. Here with Ram, here with Jamie. It's a Liverpool focused show live. Sit back, relax, and let's get into this.
Hi, this is Jordan Henderson, and you're watching Team Kopish.
We free back again, ripping LFC till the end, so go on tell a friend. If they rockin' red, they're a 10 champions, be the best, we come again. Kopish clean up in every region, innovation in every season. Catch up in all the fast match up in real rap, and drifty go on tell them this is that, this is that. This is Kopish, this is Kopish. Reppin' Liverpool till the end, champions, we the best, come again. This is that, this is Kopish, this is Kopish. The main free back up in your screen, real ones know this the place to be. This is Kopish.
Big up, lovely people. Hope you're well. Welcome back to the channel. Please do smash that like button, subscribe if you're new as well. Also, want to shout out to our sponsors, okjersey.com. Guys, the World Cup is coming up soon. Make sure you get your country's jersey so you can represent it in the right way. And what better place than to buy that from okjersey.com? £15 is all you have to pay to part with to get your shirt, whether it be a club, a country, this season's or seasons from prior. Visit okjersey.com. And also, if you use the promo code Kopish, you get a further 8% discount. That is okjersey.com. Visit the link in the description. Jay, Ram, how you guys doing this morning?
Shit.
Yeah, all right.
Liverpool lost, and I felt this week was a very testing week for us Liverpool fans. So let's tell you that for a fact.
Yeah. Mine's more personal, but
yeah, of course,
yeah, of course.
After watching the football midweek, I don't think I'm a little bit in a happier place. So.
Okay, elaborate on that.
Because English teams are shit.
It was a bad week for English football. A very, very bad week.
I think what we found out this midweek with English football is that when it comes to the nitty gritty of technical ability, Europe is superior to English sides. When English teams can't rely on set pieces, dirty tactics, and long balls and low blocks, English teams are being found out.
To be fair, the only team that's actually given us some form of hope was Newcastle.
Yeah,
Newcastle were the only team this week that actually played good football. And look, I've made it abundantly clear who the best player in the world is, and he plays for Barcelona.
You guys miss too much
and limited to a very few chances because of how good Newcastle were. Newcastle, you know what? This week, Newcastle were the only English team that were flying the flag for England, which is a sad state of affairs because everyone and their dog would say that Newcastle are the weakest team from out of all the English side, barring Tottenham. Obviously, I keep forgetting about Tottenham, but yeah, it's a bad week for England. Very bad week. Humbling as well.
In terms of the opposition, though, losing to PSG, I don't think there's any shame in that. Obviously, Chelsea wouldn't have wanted to lose 5-2. Draw with Barcelona is a very good result for Newcastle. Leverkusen, I think Arsenal should have won that game when you think of everything that they've accomplished this season and where Leverkusen are. Us losing to Galatasaray for me is extremely bad. And obviously the way Spurs went out to Atletico is bad. Who, in your opinion, out of the English teams has the best chance of actually getting through apart from Arsenal? Because I think Arsenal will still qualify. Is it us? Does Chelsea have an outside chance? Does Tottenham? I mean, stranger things have happened. I mean, Villa almost knocked PSG out last season.
Problem is with I hear what you say about Villa against PSG last season, but PSG more or less had the game in the bag and they just sort of like coasted around. It was a bit of a mentality thing, which I was a bit annoyed about if I was a PSG fan. The fact that they kept letting Aston Villa back into the game rather than actually killing it properly. If you talk about the most likely team to go ahead, it will probably be Arsenal. The fact that Leverkusen, look, everyone knows that I watched the Bundesliga a lot. They have been a mess the entire season, an absolute mess. Only when to be fair, Eric Ten Hag was one of the reasons why they were a mess. Was it Casper Humland? I think that's his name. I think that's his name. The manager has sort of steadied the ship for the time being, but the quality of Bayer Leverkusen compared to yesteryears is no longer there. Heck, they didn't even play their best striker in that game.
Right,
Patrick Schick.
I forgot about City as well. City got the pitch as well.
As in Patrick Schick wasn't there, but it's exactly what he said. I still believe PSG are still in that hangover phase. You know how we had our hangover phase when we won in 2005? PSG, I still believe, are in that sort of mold. Real Madrid just absolutely dominated City. And Valverde, bloody, oh my.
This is what I say about Real Madrid. They always struggle in the group stages, but when they get to knockout stages, they're
one thing I'd say about Real Madrid, I think the way Arbeloa is letting them play is arguably better than the way Alonso had them playing.
We're going to speak about that, Jay. We're going to speak about that, so don't preempt that. Don't preempt it.
And look, I actually think Arsenal and Liverpool will be the only English teams that go through. I do think Liverpool will beat Galatasaray at home by a couple of goals to get them through. And I think Arsenal will dominate Leverkusen at the Emirates. I will say, though, Leverkusen deserved that. Everything like Leverkusen outplayed Arsenal, but Leverkusen have got the second best home defense in the Bundesliga, I believe, this season as well at home. So, you know, on their own pitch. So it was always going to be a tough game for Arsenal. But I thought Leverkusen played extremely well and they deserved to win that game. Newcastle were brave in everything they did. Bayern Munich looked phenomenal. I'm going to say right now, I actually think Elise is the best player in the world right now.
Someone's been giving me a lot of grief.
I think Elise is better than Yamal. I literally do. I don't think Lamine Yamal turns up for big games a lot, and I don't think Lamine Yamal's output for goals and assists is good enough right now compared to Elise's to be classed better than Elise.
I don't know, because that's the one thing I kept on saying about Lamine Yamal, to be in that category of the best player in the world. He has to back it up with goals and assists, and this season has been quite good with goals and assists. Been very productive. I think he's got 23 GA in 23 games in La Liga, 7 GA in 7 games in the Champions League. So he's been doing quite well for GA. The problem is, the reason why I say I can't say Elise is the best player in the world is because there's one player better than him in Bayern, which is Harry Kane. I've always maintained Harry Kane is the best player for Bayern this season. Harry Kane is one of the reasons why Luis Diaz and Elise are achieving the levels that they are, because of how good a
Harry Kane didn't play in the Champions League game.
No, I think if Elise
was absolutely fine, bro.
That still don't mean that he's not the best player in the team, though.
I think everyone wants Lamine Yamal to be the best player in the world because he's a young guy and he's like taking the world by storm at such a young age, and that's fair enough. But what Elise's done this season, go away or you're going to get my ring hand.
I hope you mute so we don't get cut off.
It's joking. I think if Lamine Yamal, if the roles were reversed, Elise is playing for Barcelona right now, he'd be rated as the best player in the world.
Yeah, look, for me, I think they're the two best right wingers in the world by quite a distance. And for me, I personally think Elise is better right now, but I do also think Yamal has he's got the highest ceiling in it. Like, he's just,
it's the world that he's oyster. Yeah, world that he's oyster. Yeah.
I think it's the fact that I think everyone's been talking about how great Bayern's attack has been in general. I think with Barca, even what I say, I don't think Rafinha's been hitting the levels that he did from last season. Lewandowski's a year older, but look, he's still a fantastic footballer, but he just can't do the same things that he used to do when he was younger. I feel as though Lamine Yamal with the Barcelona team that aren't at the same level as last season, but I think he's gone up another level. That's why I say he's been the main guy for Barca. And again, look, me saying Yamal's the best player doesn't mean that Elise has been crap or anything. Everyone knows how much. Everyone knows how much I have so much respect for Elise. Everyone, Cal knows how much I want Elise to join the football club. But for me to say Yamal is the better player doesn't mean he's bad.
Does Lamine Yamal's got a couple of things? You know, I read some. I was listening to someone the other day that I know quite well saying Lamine Yamal is a one-trick pony, but his one trick is so good no one can stop it right now. And because he's so young, can Lamine Yamal get found out in a couple of years' time, you know, eventually, and things dry up? Or does he have the potential to, you know, become the next Messi or the next Cristiano Ronaldo in the years to come?
I think.
Sorry, bro. I'm going, bro.
I was going to say the first thing I want to say, I don't want to put him on the same category as Messi because, look, Messi at 19, 20 was scoring 92 goals in a calendar year.
He wasn't that young doing it, but I get what you mean.
2021. He's still
either way, Messi. I don't think anyone could be compared to Messi and Ronaldo.
Exactly.
Stay by themselves.
The one thing I would say, Lamine Yamal has the technical ability to adapt his game. Even though people will say he's a one-trick pony, his a level of technical ability. He has the capability. I think he also has the mindset as well within the football match. What I say within the football match, some of the stuff that he does outside the pitch is a bit mad.
I think it will come down to mentality with him.
Yeah, but I think if he's surrounded by a good manager that'll keep him on his feet, and he's surrounded by good people, I think the sky's the limit for this guy. I think the technical ability, the natural born ability is there. I think he has the capability to adapt. It's just the mindset is the question that we have for him.
I hear it. Right, we're going to move off Champions League, guys. We'll come back to that later on in the show. According to Ornstein, he said, Liverpool, from what I hear, are steadfastly behind Arne Slot, and he's under contract until 2027, and they want him to be their coach. The hierarchy are determined that he is the man to get things right. If they're looking at a recruitment process for coaches, he is said to be the exact profile that they would be looking for, and that there's not people on the market that they would think are better suited for what they're looking for, that they're happy with him. I'm expecting this to go on and the club to get to the summer in whatever shape. I don't think taking out the head coach is on Liverpool's agenda at all. Okay. I just want to make this very clear before we continue. Very clear. I'm from now for the next maybe 15, 20 minutes going to be playing devil's advocate. The words that are going to be coming out of my mouth are not the words I believe, or not how I feel. It's me trying to have a conversation and look at things from a different standpoint.
Is that a surprise, Cal? You love to play devil's advocate.
Not with this one, I wouldn't. I'd like to literally say how I feel with this one. Now, I'm going to read out some stats, guys. In the season, which was 2021, we won 20 games, drew 9, lost 9. 22-23 season, won 19, drew 10, lost 9. This season so far, won 14, drawn 6, lost 9. We've played 29 games. In the previous seasons, we finished third on 69 points, fifth on 67 points, and we're currently sixth on 48 points. If we are to achieve 69 points, we would need 21 points from the remaining 9 games.
So 7 wins out of 9.
We would need 7 wins out of 9. Now, the reason why I picked on those seasons, because those are seasons whereby after we won the Premier League or won the domestic double, we then had a fall off. Now, you can contextualize those seasons just like contextualize this one. But Klopp was given a chance to rectify those seasons. Now, granted, in the 2021 season, we went on like a 9-game winning run towards the end of the season, or 9 out of 10 wins. 22-23, I think we did something similar. This season, if we go on a 9-game winning run between now and the end of the season, it'll be incredible, but we highly doubt it. Jay, I'll start with you. Given that what I've just read through there, do you think Slot does deserve a chance to actually rectify this next season?
No.
Why not?
Because it's been more in a season that he's been crap.
That's very fair.
Look, David Ornstein can say what he wants, yeah, but we know he's an FSG mouthpiece, and they're not going to tell him over the phone, no, we're sick of Arne Slot, and he's going to publicise that, is he? So it's very hard to take what journalists say at the moment as gospel. Jurgen Klopp, when he signed for Liverpool, after 6 months of signing his first deal, got a brand new contract for 6 years. Arne Slot won the league title and still not got a new contract. Let that sink in.
Yeah.
And Jurgen Klopp got the same 3-year deal to start with as Slot did as well, by the way. But after 6 months, they gave Klopp a new contract for 6 years. Arne Slot has won the league and still not got a new contract. They're obviously looking at other managers. They obviously don't like the football that he's playing. And it's not just been this season. 2025 was a terrible year for Liverpool. Look at the results. Look at the wins, losses for 2025. Look at the football we played. Look, we won the Premier League, but most of the Premier League was won in the first half of that season. Let's face it. Premier League has won for the first half of that season because we're very good. His football's been atrocious. It's not got any better. He doesn't know how to mould a team. He doesn't know how to get the best out of players. He doesn't know his system. We're almost into 21 months of Arne Slot. Does anyone know his system? Does anyone know what he actually wants to do with the football? What he wants the defence to do? Does he want them to push up? Does he want them to drop back? Does he want a press? Does he want a half press? Does he want one person to press? Does he want to play a width? Does he want to play narrow? No one knows, and it's 21 months in, and that's diabolical.
Jamie, I low-key do, but I don't think you want to hear it.
No, but because he changes it. This is the problem. He changes it. So in his first season at Liverpool to this season, he's changed his styles completely. Everything's changed. He doesn't know.
First 6 months. No.
I think Slot is the kind of coach that needs a winning team and a world-class squad to do what he wants to do. I don't think Slot is capable of having a bunch of players and moulding them into a way of playing. Slot wants to play his football, and he won't, and his football only, whatever it is. And even though these players apparently look like they can't play the way he wants to play, he won't mould a way of getting the best out of individual talent that he's got in his team. He doesn't know how to get the best out of Florian Wirtz. I'm starting to think Slot didn't want him because he's obsessed with Gravenberch and McAllister and Szoboszlai. He's absolutely obsessed with them three midfielders alone, And we went and bought Wirtz. He doesn't know how to get the best out of him. He doesn't know where to play him. He doesn't know how to use him because Szoboszlai can't be dropped. He doesn't want to drop Gravenberch. And then McAllister's his baby. He plays him no matter how bad a form he's in. So Wirtz, your £110 million signing, one of the most creative midfielders in Europe, has to play left wing. He doesn't know what to do about him. He doesn't know how to get the best out of him. And I'm starting to think now, did Slot really want Wirtz? Did Slot actually want Shirky? Because Shirky can play in the wide areas. I honestly don't know. I get confused. I really get confused because, I don't know what his football is. I don't know what he wants to play. Cody Gakpo gets played all the time. Every single game Cody Gakpo plays, it don't matter if he puts in stinker after stinker. He wants him to play narrow. He wants him to cut inside all the time and shoot. If he didn't, Cody wouldn't play all the time, would he? He'd change it up.
Yeah.
So we come to too many excuses about this team. The buck stops at the person who runs our football club, who the manager is, the coach, the one who picks the team, the one who picks the tactics, the one who does the training. He's to blame for all the shit. And people just want to keep blaming Salah and Virgil, all this shit, Get your heads out of the arses, guys. There's only one person to blame.
First, Jay, we're going to come back to everything you've said. Ram, I want to ask you a question. I think you might be better suited to answer this than me and Jamie, given that you watch more Bundesliga than we do. Xabi Alonso has also been linked with the role, and Indy came out saying there's potentially a 3-year deal on the table. And Ornstein said that Liverpool don't believe that there's a better person out there suited for Liverpool than him right now. Do you think, as much as a lot of us want Xabi Alonso, taking your bias and your emotional for him as a player and what he means to us as fans, do you think he is the right person for the club? Because I think people have this warped vision that he's going to be coming in and being super emotional and all that. I want Xabi Alonso, by the way, to be Liverpool coach, but do you think that Liverpool fans have a warped expectation of the type of football he plays and the type of character he is?
A little bit. Again, if you want to take out the complete emotion out of it, I think a little bit. He is he's one of those managers that I wouldn't say he's full on control. He would prefer the team to have more control than usual, but he's very how do I put it? He's not like Slot, but he's similar.
He's cerebral.
A little bit, yeah. I think the kind of style of play that he has, which was complete domination of the ball, creating chances, controlling the style of football. I think that's more that the football. That's his style. That's his style. It won't change. So there will be similarities with that. I don't expect him to go in and just be like gegenpressing, high intensity, what Klopp was, because he was never that kind of manager. However, he's very much organized, which why I would want him to join Liverpool, because of the fact that his structure is so organized that usually if everything goes well together, it's very hard to break them down as well as them being so good in the final third. His attacking passages of play are a lot better. It's faster. Whilst controlled, there's still an emphasis on creating chances. So that's why I'd say he'd be best suited for us. I know people will say, but he plays a back three. Leverkusen, they've had 3 centre backs. The one thing he's good at, he's identified that both Jonathan Tah and Tapsoba are both incredibly good in the wide. Sorry, Tapsoba, not Jonathan Tah. Tapsoba is incredibly good in the wider channels, as long with Kosunu, who they just signed. They're good in the wider channels, channel defending, and Tah can just be the guy that could just sweep up at the back. That's the kind of manager he is. He identifies what the team needs and works around it. That's what I've always wanted. But to say that he'll play this high intensity style of football, emotional football, it will never be like that. That was never his game as a footballer. It was never his style of football as a manager. It's very similar to what Pep Guardiola wanted. But does he have the capacity to adapt his game? 100%. That's the one thing that I want in my managers, is the capacity to adapt, get the best out of the players. That's what this manager isn't doing. The one thing I've said at the start of the season is all about maximizing the output out of these players. And right now, he's not getting any output out of these players. The one player that produced some form of output was Szoboszlai. And Szoboszlai is not even producing anything anymore, because now he started to become, in the last couple of games, a little bit, I won't say jaded, but a little bit mediocre right now.
Yeah. Jay, we both kind of feel that if they wanted Alonso, they would have pulled the trigger by now, considering he's not at Real Madrid anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm putting you on the spot here, so again, feel free, if you don't have an answer, not to worry. And Ram, I'll ask you to jump in and help, and I'll even try and wrap my brain and think as well. If Xabi Alonso is not the option, and if Luis Enrique is staying at PSG, who out there do we look at?
No one, probably. It is the weird thing about Xabi Alonso, and what I'm about to say might make people flinch and go, Jamie, what the fuck are you talking about? Because he obviously went invincible with Leverkusen and won the league. I still don't know how good of a manager Alonso is, which might be sound crazy, but same people say that about Zinedine Zidane, who won 3 Champions Leagues in a row.
Yeah,
I still don't know. I really don't know. And would Alonso be much different to what we're doing now? You know, is he that exciting to watch as a coach? I'm not sure. I'm really, really not sure. You know, even the Leverkusen, when you look at his time at Leverkusen, they scored a lot of last-minute equalisers or winners. Yeah, you know you can't sustain that as a manager for seasons and seasons. So, I'm not sure. I don't know how good Alonso actually is. Is he better than Arne Slot? He might be, but they both won the same things as a manager. Do you know what I mean? Like they've both won big leagues in big titles in big leagues. So would there be much difference right now? Again, not sure. I'm not sure. There's a few managers out there where you can go, yeah, that probably will be a difference. You know, people like Luis Enrique and stuff like that, or bringing Jurgen back, you know, there's going to be a difference. But the Alonso thing, I think Richard Hughes. I don't think Richard Hughes is a big fan of Xabi Alonso, and that's what it's giving me right now. Because Xabi, like, everyone talks about Michael Edwards and all that. Richard Hughes is the sporting director. He's the one in charge. He's the one in charge hiring, sacking managers and buying and selling players. That's his job. I think Richard Hughes is all about Arne Slot. I don't know if FSG are. They might be different, but at this moment in time, I think Richard Hughes is very happy with Arne Slot. And if they wanted Alonso, he was there and he was available and ready to go and get. I've always said this as well. It's very rare that Liverpool go back to someone that already rejected them. Liverpool rarely do that. When Liverpool get rejected, they usually move on, manager or player. They never usually go back, and they move on to different people or keep what they got. And they've done that a lot, this football club. So that's why I don't think Alonso's going to be Liverpool manager. I'll be shocked if he's Liverpool manager. I really would.
I'm starting to feel like that as well. Ram, I'll come back to you. At the beginning of the season, when we started the bad run, I was mentioning names like Glasner and Iraola, saying, obviously, I know they're not seen as creme de la creme managers, but what the resources that they have and the output that they're getting, for me, is relative to the conversation that if they were to move to a better team with more resources, there's an argument to say they could improve. Now, I know you're a big fan of Nagelsmann, but obviously he's the German manager. If we were to get him, then we'd have to wait until after the World Cup. Then he has a holiday after that. That's going to take a lot of time to sort everything out as well. If there isn't seen to be an Enrique or an Alonso, or even Klopp doesn't want to come back, do we kind of have to stick with Slot by default?
Unfortunately, or do the unthinkable, which is get rid of him and bring in Steven Gerrard for a 1.5 year interim. But I'll ask you this: how many managers stayed on a job for 1.5 years as an interim? Not many.
No, not many.
Not many at all. And I would say, I'd say that's the only option I think we have, is to keep him, unfortunately, and make things a lot worse than it is. Because look, Mikal, we've had our differences for the past couple of weeks in regards to stuff in the Champions League. But the one
do you still think we're going to win it?
Unless things change, and nothing's going to change. I've come to the conclusion nothing's changing.
So you're keeping him if we win the Champions? I'm joking.
We're not going to go through it again.
We'll save that for vibes. We'll save that for vibes on Kopish with Jamie later on. Big up at 10 p.m. Make sure you know.
Yes.
I hear what you're saying, Ram. Here's the thing, though. My worry with keeping Slot is there could be a potential exodus of players from the current squad.
Mm-hmm.
Also, the attractiveness of the club isn't going to be what it was as well. So let's say we finish the season, let's say we get fifth, and we'll speak about the coefficient and all that stuff, because of how the English team performed this week, top 5 isn't a guarantee for Champions League spot even now. If we don't get Champions League football, gone are the talks about getting an Elise or a Cavaro or anyone like that. And for me, that sets us back. It is eerily reminiscent of when we had Brendan Rodgers as manager, and I was screaming for him to get sacked in the summer after we had the 14-15 season. He wasn't sacked. He was given more players. Season started badly, then he was sacked. For me, by doing that, you're effectively writing off 2 seasons. Can we do that as a club?
A different scenario, though. Different scenario, I'd say, because the only reason why I disagree with that sort of scenario, I think Klopp was already meant to come in the first place, but the fact that Klopp just left Dortmund and wanted some time away for himself, maybe that's why we went in for him in October. Maybe he might have told us, we'll come back for me later, but for now, I'm not going to be thinking about management for any time soon. I think it will be a big mistake, because the one thing I said about this manager is that the best way to get the way to get the best out of football, get the best out of Liverpool Football Club in general, from the fans and from everybody, is the style of football that Jurgen Klopp played. People will say it's an inherently German style of football. I don't really care about the philosophy. It's all about passion, putting in the hard work, and playing as a team and winning as a team. That's how we played football. Whether that be a German manager or an Italian manager or whatever. You could get Spanish manager if you want. The one thing I disagree with a lot, what Arne is doing, is not his management, is his style of football. You can't go from high intensity style of football to possession play overnight or in one season. You can't change it. You have to, that takes about 3 to 4 years for that to fully implement into their team. Unless you have unless you have players or a football club or a team that has played that style of football previously, which majority of our players haven't done, then it will be easy to transition. You're going from one style of football to basically the antithesis of that football to a completely different style. And to expect it to work straight off the bat, if you sign 7, 8, or 8 players and completely change the starting 11, it was never going to work. We have come to the situation in football where clubs are a lot more, how do you say, what's the right word? They're a lot more structured. It's not like Roman Abramovich or when Man City's owners, Sheikh Mansour, came in at the very start, where spend a load of money, get the right manager to come in, get the best out of the players. Then if they're not cutting the mustard, send them away, get a new manager in. Gone are the days of that. You can't win league titles. You can't win the major trophies with that kind of management. Probably the only club that does that is Real Madrid. But if we're talking,
Chelsea did for a while, but they've slowed down.
Yeah, but that's you could argue that that sort of management caught up with them, because they haven't won a league title since 2017. It's almost coming up to a decade they haven't won a league title, which is crazy. Yeah. You talk about a Chelsea team growing up, they would win everything. A league title every 3 or 4 years, minimum, bare minimum.
Yeah.
But we've come to a point where we found our identity and we're no longer doing it. We're changing our identity again. You can't do that as a big football club. The reason why we loved Jurgen is because we kept on saying, like Jamie would say it, because obviously he watched it live and through his own eyes. His style of football reminded him of like the days of Shankly and Paisley. That's our heritage. That is our only known success. Success in that football club was during that period. And the fact that this manager is now starting to tear that away a little bit. Nah, we can't be doing that. And that's why I'm having a lot of concerns about the board, because the whole point of having a sporting director is to fulfill that vision. And for me, they're not fulfilling that vision. And if they're not, certain questions have to be asked in terms of they got to leave, in my opinion. If they're not fulfilling that vision, or they think a certain vision will be better, give us a reason. If it's not a good enough a reason, then I'm sorry. Question marks have to be put on your names as well.
I agree. Mons, welcome to the show, bro. I'm going to throw a question straight at you. And I'm purposely not asking Ram this so he doesn't think I'm being a villain, because I'm trying to be the good guy this morning. If Liverpool are to go on a winning run between now and the end of the season, barring changing the manager, what changes need to be made to philosophy, tactics, or playing style, in your opinion?
Is that so? While changing the manager, or the manager hasn't?
No,
changed?
the manager's here. We're stuck with the manager.
What needs to change is you need to buy into his philosophy. So again, like having
What is his philosophy though?
As in, so his fullbacks, he doesn't like overlapping fullbacks, but every single fullback we have has a strength in overlapping, maybe apart from Joe Gomez.
So how do we buy into it?
So we either get rid of the wing backs, convert them into wingers that we're not going to use, and then eventually phase them out the club, or buy more centre backs so they can play in wing back positions because they're more. So again, ultimately, it's like the Calafiori thing with Arsenal or the Vardio thing with Man City. You'd have to do it that way, and then have more centre backs than full backs. This isn't something I want to do, by the way, but this is, if he's the one that's being trusted, the way to get the best out of his philosophy is to get his type of players. And I think what he's trying to do is fit square pegs into circle holes, or circle holes into square pegs, whatever the saying is. And
Square pegs and round holes.
Yeah, that's the one.
You gotta forgive these YNs. Right.
It's fine, honestly. But yeah, so I feel like that's probably what I think, and that's probably that's the only reason Sober's like, I do want him at right back under this manager. If we got like another manager that plays with fullbacks properly, you don't need Sober's like playing right back. Like, there's no point.
You just got to sprinkle that in, don't you?
Drop the bro. You drop the feelings in it. Drop the feelings. I'm literally talking about the system. I'm not talking about the player.
I'm only playing, bro.
I'll be real with you once. With what you just said, I understand the Szoboszlai right back. I don't want to see it, but I understand it.
Yeah, that's all it is. It's like
because now, the manager, yeah.
Yeah, I hate
it. It's not, bro. Under Klopp, under this manager, you need to have central players playing at fullback, or players that are comfortable inverting. Doesn't have to be maybe an actually central player. Players that are comfortable inverting. That's what needs to happen in this formation. And especially the wingers, you need Luis Diaz, Rio type of wingers who are 1v1 specialists as opposed to one-dimensional wingers. Because one-dimensional wingers aren't going to be helped. It condenses the pitch too much. You can throw a blanket over everyone when we're in the opposition half, and it becomes too condensed. The players aren't intelligent enough to play that way, but to play in that way where the pitch is so condensed, we need to have specialists in decision-making, even if we create very little chances. And I mean, we're playing in a team where we only really score off of counter presses. We only really score off of mistakes caused by counter presses and set pieces. So, one of Jurgen Klopp's biggest things was counter pressing, aggressive counter pressing. So, but we was nowhere near. But obviously, that was also expansive football. So, if we're gonna play keep ball and it's a half press, and we're not going to create as much opportunities from open play and control these games, then we need to find more players that are willing to control the ball rather than do what we like, this kind of hybrid Klopp slot team. That's all I'm saying. We just need to buy the profiles that the manager wants. Does that mean I like that? No, it means I actually hate that, to be honest. I actually really don't like the idea of that, because I feel like we've got the players to be expansive. We've got the players to hurt teams on the counter. We've got the teams to hold the width. It just, that's my thing. But my biggest problem is, like, even if we were to buy these players that probably suit his style, would the manager still get the best out of them? Because he's shown so far to get the worst out of players and not the best out of them. So
very fair. Jay mentioned this earlier and said that even though the players haven't been up to par, he's still not holding as much blame to the players. However, I'll be completely transparent. That first half against Galatasaray, I don't blame Slot for at all. The second half was all on tactics, in my opinion, and was atrocious. Yeah, I don't know how much of that you caught, but I was just referring back to your point where you said you don't blame the players as much because you've just seen how the season's going. While I agree that the majority is on the manager, that first half against Galatasaray, in my opinion, wasn't down to the manager. That was down to Wirtz missing 2 very, very good chances, and the players just making silly decisions in the final third. That being said, while I believe Slot holds the majority of the blame, what do the players need to do between now and the end of the season, Jay, to actually buck up their ideas and actually get better performances out of themselves, regardless of the tactics?
I think it's quite difficult for the players to perform under this manager, no matter what level. I think mistakes are starting to come into their game now from even experienced footballers because they don't know what the roles of they don't know what their roles are. They don't know what the instructions are. I look at our midfield and centre backs in the last few weeks. They don't know if they're meant to step up, press, drop back, go narrow. They ain't got a clue. They haven't got a clue. So they're all over the place for that. And performances in their individual performances now are taking a hit for it. You know, look, it doesn't help, obviously, having your best player fall off a cliff this season in Salah. That's not helped Slot at all. So I can't really blame the manager for that. But, you've seen mistakes in Virgil like you've never seen. You've seen mistakes in Kanate, which you see a lot, to be fair. You got, he doesn't know what right back to play when they're fit. You're playing Szoboszlai at right back when you've got right backs on the bench. You got left backs that he doesn't really know how to start the season with. Like, we all watched Kirkes play last season for Bournemouth. Did any of us believe he was a passing, inverting left back when he was at Bournemouth? Arne Slot did. Arne Slot did, and that's why he played him like that. Right? You got fullbacks who want to play on the outside, not the inside. But we wants our fullbacks to play the inside constantly. The best winger fullback game we have had all season was the FA Cup game against Wolves, because I saw a winger keeping the width in Rio, taking on fullbacks, and Robbo and him were going on the outside, going on the inside. They were teaming up. They were passing to each other. That was the best winger fullback I've seen for Liverpool this season because it worked properly. These players have no idea what they're doing anymore. They don't know what to do. Look, we have inverted wingers as well, man. Right? That cut inside constantly, right? A year ago, I said Isak would never work with Mo Salah. Right? I said this a year ago. And it weren't because they weren't both great players. It's because they're both selfish players who want to do the same thing and take up the same room. When you got quality attackers and a quality at number 10, what do you want to give them more than anything? Space.
Time and space.
Time and space. What do Liverpool do? They get their wingers to get into the space of the striker and the number 10. So they got nowhere to perform. And this keeps going, Cal. This keeps going. Nothing changes. Like people keep going, oh, it's not Salah, it's not Slot's fault that Cody keeps playing this way. It is because he plays him every week. And if he didn't want him to do that, he would have told him, stay wide, don't cut in no more. He doesn't. He doesn't.
Ram, I want to come to you. One of the last questions before we do super chats and round off. I can't believe I'm saying this, and I've been saying from the beginning of the season I didn't want to put too much pressure on him, but we're here now, unfortunately. Does our season hinge on whether we play Rio or not? It's a dark question, but I think we all know the answer. Just might not.
You know how much that annoys me? We have almost £1 billion worth of talent on the team, and you're telling me that our best chance is a 17-year-old. That is crazy. It's crazy. And do you know what? I'm gonna have to argue that yes, there is a case to be made about it. He's a talent. But again, it goes back to the idea we have the likes of Wirtz, we had the likes of Ekitike, We have Mo Salah. We have Soboslai. We have the likes of Virgil and Konate who could produce something from a set piece. That should be enough. That alone should be enough. And this is and Cal, this isn't for a league title or Champions League, bro. I'm guessing you're talking about the league, right? If you're talking about the league, it's top five. We'll talk about top five.
Well, I've just said before you join once, we're on 48 points at the moment, played 29 games. The two seasons where we had drop-off seasons with Klopp was 2021 and 22-23. In those seasons, we got 69 and 67 points respectively. If we're to get 67 points this season, we need 19 points between now and the end of the season from 9 games. 69 points is 21 points. And then not just that, that still might not be enough for top 5, depending on what the other teams do as well. Is Rio, does he have to now become one of the first names on the team sheet?
Should have been like this 4 months ago, bro.
I hear it.
Say that again,
That's what it should have been. Like,
say that again once.
Like,
I didn't hear.
I said it should have been Rio on the team sheet.
Oh,
4 or 5 months ago. Tried to tell Callum this, but it's fine. Those you don't hear must feel. And it's cool, like, the is he ready questions. Like, when a team's we're not competing for no league, the stakes aren't mad high. So give the youth minutes. If we was competing for the league and Bear was at stake right now, I hear it. That's why it's a difficult position for managers when you're doing really, really, really well. Really, really well. And it's like, there's you're top of the league and in a title race, and these decisions, can you put up on the 17th? Yeah, but we're not fighting for a league. There's not much to play for. We've got some cup competitions there. Stuff get me at City, Galatasaray second leg. We're out the Carabao Cup. We want to finish in a respectable place, so we go again next season. These are the times where you give the young players a chance. Simple as that. Not like the senior players are doing their job anyway.
I agree. I look at it because everyone talks about, you can't overexpose him, you can't play him too much and all that. Guys, there's not much left. There's only 2 months left of the season. There's literally only 2 months left of the season. Why not play him? Also, Liverpool should be playing him right now. You can't overplay a player with 2 months left of the season from now till the end. You just can't. Also, Liverpool need to know if he's worth keeping next season. So they need to see how well he plays. Because if they don't sell, because I've got what I've read today, it looks like Liverpool probably only go buy one winger, right? And Diamonde, right? That looks like it's going to be the case because Mo Salah's probably going to leave. Diamonde's going to be his replacement. Cody Gakpo just signed a big contract. He's going nowhere under Arne Slot, guys, right? So he's going to need to know if Rio is ready to take Cody Gakpo's place next season. And if that's the case, you need to start playing him because I don't know what Slot is waiting for. We are in March. We've got a couple of months left of this season. We can't win the league now. Being fifth might not be good enough if all the English teams go out, by the way.
Yeah.
Fifth might not even be good enough. Might have to finish top 4 to get Champions League. I don't know what he's waiting for. Cody does nothing week in, week out. We are frustrated with Gakpo and Mo Salah. We are both frustrated with them. They are, at this moment in time, they are probably the 2 worst performing wingers in the Premier League right now. You could argue this. You can actually have an argument about this. And we've got Rio there who's ready to perform and give his all and will give that fight that a lot of people are looking for. They're looking for players to stand up and feel, be proud about themselves, be proud about wearing the shirt, see what it means to be a Liverpool player. Got a kid there in Rio who wants to do that. But he's not allowed to. The fact that Rio didn't come on against Galatasaray pisses me off. I get sick and tired of everyone going, he can't come on against that vile atmosphere. What vile atmosphere? Yeah. All they did was boo Liverpool players when they touched the ball. That wasn't a vile atmosphere. I'll tell you what's a vile atmosphere. Go to Ellen Road against Leeds. That's a more vile atmosphere than that Galatasaray game.
Yeah, fact.
So I just get annoyed with it, man. We keep play the kid. There's a special talent there. Play him.
This is the one thing where me and Cal did the show on Hassam's channel and we were like, I don't think he should be starting. Well, you would. Well, actually, Cal was not opposed to him starting, but I was on the case of still not. Don't start him. But if things are bad, or even if things are bad or things are good, he has to come on. Like at some point, he's gonna have to come on and show his worth. And I think in a situation where if we need some form of impetus, he'll do well. If we need some form of like directness when we're winning 2-0, just to give them Galatasaray something to think about on the counter attack, bring him on as well. And the one thing I don't understand, he made 3 substitutions out of a possible 5. We have 5 subs for a reason. Why don't you use them? And again, goes back to the one thing that I said. Getting the best out of these players. The only way to get out the best out of these players is to put them in their right positions. And again, I think people were hoodwinked of the idea that Florian Wirtz can play on the wing. Not in this system, he can't.
Drives me mad.
Not in this system, he can't. What Nagelsmann does for Germany is what Nagelsmann does. It's completely different. Stop thinking if he can play on the left because he played there for Leverkusen. Different situation.
There's a left 10 there.
Left 10. And who was the other left 10 who could hold up the width? Jonas Hoffmann, who was naturally a right winger as his style of play. So again, we need to stop shoehorning players into these positions and just play them in the position where we get the best out of them. Why was Szoboszlai so good not playing as the 10 as asked for? Because he's always in the middle. Where do I want Szoboszlai? On that right-hand channel, creating, doing the dogged work, being the all-round midfielder, not being in the edge of the box. In situations where I would prefer, when Joe Gomez had the ball next to Salah, I'd rather prefer Szoboszlai in that position and Wirtz be on the edge of the area and Ekitike be in the box. This is the kind of stuff that is annoying me about this manager and the fact that there are systems where we could get the best out of these players, but we just choose not to do anything about it. That's the issue. And again, it goes back to the manager. And whenever I talk about the manager, I always have to mention about the board. The board has allowed this to happen. And that's the issue here, right? That's the main crux of the matter.
I agree. Right, let me help these supers, guys. Shout out to Shawnee. Says, my apologies, Cal. I understand you'll never walk alone. No problem, Shawnee. Mohammed says, Callum, I appreciate all your content. Not just me, you've got to thank all the guys on the panel, also Matt and Drift as well. Big up yourself, though, Mohammed. Much appreciated for the super. Shout out to Mickey. Says, I swear down, if we don't get rid of that Slot, brother, I'm putting down my scarf for a bit because I can't. This job is too big for him.
I don't think the job's too big for it. I think he's got a little bit too big-headed himself.
Yeah,
thinking that he can change an entire identity of a football club.
Speaking of big-headed and arrogant, Math says the Bathrobe Bandits, which is crazy. Monts and Cal, how far off are we to what you expected, and how many games have you seen as an effective game plan this season? Oh, we're 4 places off where we expected to be. We should be second or first. That's what the expectation. Well, first was the expectation. Effective game plans this season, probably a handful.
Yeah, all the games that we played well with the tactics you don't want to play.
Yeah, a handful of games.
Brother, I don't know.
Such a weird guy. Honestly,
they've been our best game. Honestly, our best games this season are tactics he doesn't want to play that got results. And then he comes out after the game and says, that's not really the way I want to play. It worked. What? Like,
that's the arrogant side, isn't it?
It's probably one of those things where he didn't want to play that way, but he found himself in a position where he can win the league, went and won the league, and then now I can establish my style.
Yeah.
And his style is not. As I said, maybe maybe he needs 11 players that are exactly his style and exactly his way to get the best out of what he does. Like maybe that's why I said maybe this hybrid. But part of being a coach is it's very rare that a coach has every single player that suits your style down to the bone. Because remember, the board can't just click your fingers and the first player you get is the player you want. Klopp wanted Brandt, you got Salah. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying he didn't want Salah, but he wasn't at the top of his list.
Best example.
When Klopp actually got the players he wanted, he actually performed a little bit worse himself. When he actually got Endo, when he actually got Darwin Núñez, You know, it didn't completely go the way Klopp wanted, but at least with Klopp, what we saw was that if you didn't get your first choice player, or you got your second choice player, you was able to utilize the best of those players for multiple seasons. Firmino wasn't Klopp's player. Salah was Klopp's second choice. Mane was Klopp's player. Yes, but he made Firmino. He built the system around a player that wasn't his.
Yeah.
We didn't know Firmino was a pressing monster until 2016.
There's
Jurgen
also
changed though. Jurgen changed his thing though, because Borussia Dortmund he played a 4-2-3-1. Yeah, Jurgen.
Yeah, and he built
when he came to Liverpool, he decided to build a team around two fullbacks.
Yeah,
and changed
when Trent came through,
and the fourth line, and the fourth line, yeah.
So he could change his philosophy. He could change his philosophies to adapt to the players that he had, right?
Yeah,
to change, yeah.
But for multiple times, though, James, for multiple years, Slot actually did. Slot showed. That's why I had so much faith in Slot, because at the start, because it's like, I think we all did, is because like, wow, like, cool, this isn't his team. He wasn't given signings, and he thought, I like the system that they play. Let me tweak it to maybe what Klopp might have missed with them, make them a bit more compact and not as open and expansive. I think we lose less games and we last longer, and we could go for a title. And he executed it perfectly. Yeah. So now you look at that and go, add some more players, get your style in, but don't completely change it, and we'll gradually make that change. But in that gradual change, we've seen him, for me, just get the worst out of too many players. Too many. As I said, if he was second off, even if we were third, and I didn't quite like what was going on, but you know, the worst we're seeing, third place, you know, good run in the cups, really good run in the cups. And you know, we see what happens, because you're not entitled to win every league. Yes, you spent the money, but I'm not. Do you know what I mean?
But this is the thing. This is the thing, right? You talk about the what. This is why it goes again. It goes back to the board, because the board brought him in. The reason why they did that, because they saw what he did at Feyenoord and thought it's similar to Klopp. He could probably replicate that and make us a little bit better in certain aspects of the game. And that's what he did. What we're seeing of Arne Slot right now is not what. Look, I'm very fortunate to have friends that are Dutch that watch the Eredivisie. They don't know this style of football. They've never seen him do this. This is brand new to them. It's like something that he kept in his entire life and wanted to show it to the world, kind of thing. And it's a shame that he's showing it at Liverpool, because again, we brought him in because of what he did at Feyenoord, not on what he believed in, which is the crazy thing as well, man. But like you guys said, I think Mons, the best example that you want to give, you talk about we didn't get Salah, got Brian. Wijnaldum wasn't our first choice. No. If anyone knew, Zielinski was our first choice.
Yeah, but not just that. Fekir was the choice to replace Coutinho. We didn't get Fekir. What did we do? We adapted the system to make the fullbacks the creative outlets.
And not even that. Klopp actually got Ox to play that Coutinho role. And
yeah, when he wasn't even mentioned.
He got injured. Ox done very, very well. Yeah, like that Ox to Salah, like was that driving through mid. So it wasn't exactly Coutinho weaving, playing the magical pass. It was Ox's powerful running. He goes, cool. You and he probably don't fill Coutinho's boots. Play this role where you would play them. Be Oxlade-Chamberlain and do it that way. And you saw a very good Oxlade-Chamberlain. I think someone said in the chat, Mark says Shaqiri as well. Shaqiri's not really a Klopp style player. I feel like off the right, I think Klopp, you'd see Shaqiri play in the 10.
Yeah, well, he did for some portions, didn't he?
For some games, Coutinho, Shaqiri played that role, and I just think that I just go on.
I was gonna say, when we didn't get Fekir, not only that, he adapted again, because Firmino was no longer an out-and-out striker anymore. He was actually, that was the false nine. He was the actual false nine, because again, the goals weren't the same level, but the job that he did was completely different. Now there's more responsibility on him to be the creative outlet and to be the person to add an extra body into that midfield and allow Salah and Mane to get the goals. So again, it's all about adapting. And it goes back to what I said at the start. And I've been saying until the cows come up. I've been saying this for the past 4 or 5 seasons. Maximizing the output of your footballers. And you're not doing that.
I hear it. Shout out to Water TRL9 says Slot has the opposite of the Midas touch. Everything he touches turns to crap.
I think the squad last season suited Slot style football, whatever it is, better than it does this season. I think last season's squad was better for Slot than this one. But I just like you've got attacking fullbacks there, yeah, very good attacking fullbacks that can cause teams problems, right, in them wide areas. If you get Frimpong and Kirkes in them wide areas, yeah, they can cause other teams trouble because they push their wingers back. You know, with their pace and aggressiveness, you're pushing other teams back. He doesn't use them that way. Like you got, he's identified players that he wanted to play. Yeah, he puts them in and then plays them a completely opposite way, and then wonders why. And then everyone wonders why they struggle. Yeah. No, Wirtz is played anywhere but the position he was bought for. Right. It's just, you know, you got McAllister who plays week in, week out, who's arguably for me our weakest midfielder. Right? Yeah. What has Curtis Jones done wrong? Why is Curtis Jones not playing no more? There was a bit in time in this season, arguably, you could argue that Szoboszlai and Curtis Jones were our two best midfielders this season.
Yeah, they were.
And then for no reason, Curtis Jones just gets abandoned and McAllister gets back playing. And McAllister makes mistake after mistake.
Curtis scores against Wolves. Rio has a man of the match performance and none of them touch the pitch at Galatasaray.
Do you know what? Curtis is the right midfielder to bring on against Galatasaray. Because he had no control. Yeah, because he does what everyone moans about him so much, is that he holds the ball. He's the perfect midfielder for that game, and he still doesn't come on. I don't know.
Curtis even said Slot style of play suits him more than Klopp.
Yeah.
It's
weird, ain't it? It's weird how he don't play him.
Yeah. Promo says I'd play a diamond with Ekitike and K's up top. I'm willing to try at this point.
I said this in October. I'm done. The wingers what we're getting, they're not producing. I think change the structure.
I think K's confidence, everything is shot to pieces. Though I don't think I think we just need to let him go now. Yeah. I think it's done with K's now.
Now you have to say that. But when I said this in October, the confidence was still there.
Yeah.
Well, that's on the manager, isn't it?
Shout out to Gaz who says, "Would we have done worse with Rio and Trey for Gakpo and Mac? No, we would have done better."
You wouldn't have seen that. You wouldn't see that.
Everyone who talks about Trey's physicality, I guarantee you Trey's more physically acclimatized than McAllister would be.
Because I wouldn't think Chiesa and Isak having the same GA is crazy.
You're telling me that McAllister's got physicality all of a sudden?
No, I'm just saying, but that's what people label with Trey, because Trey's slender. People look at him and think, oh, he must be weak. I guarantee you Trey's faster than McAllister. He's probably stronger.
He's got the
long legs, how you're faster than McAllister, bro.
I ain't gonna lie. If he can walk, he's faster than McAllister.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I don't. The McAllister PR is mad. I don't get it. I really don't understand it.
I hear it. Look, boys, we're going to wrap up there. Go around the circle. Jay, tell the people what you got going on for the rest of the day, please, brother.
I've got to have a shower. Then I've got to get dressed. Then I've got to have some lunch. Then I've got to take the kids for a walk. Then I've got to come back, do a show, do another show, do Vibes with Kopish, go to bed, hopefully dream good, get up in the morning.
Fairs. Ram, what you got coming up for the rest of the day? Such detail,
I've got a stream just after this show right now, reviewing the Champions League. English football is definitely in the mud at the minute. Then I've got a show with Mo, and then I've got a show on Football Terrace. So, yeah, relatively busy day. Relatively. I say relatively because I heard Cow's Day, and I was like, yeah, bro, just shut up about saying you're busy.
Months, we're on Never a Foul now as well, right?
Yeah.
So we'll be over there.
Going over to Never a Foul. Then after Never a Foul, we have Chelsea Tears edition. We have reacting to Chelsea Tears, obviously a series that I do when teams lose. So as I said, I think it was incredibly incredibly cheeky.
So
That is so
cheeky.
cheeky, Mons.
No. Do you know why it's not cheeky? And I'll tell you why it's not cheeky. Because we lost to Galatasaray, and the whole world wanted to pile on us. Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Big up to Tottenham, who actually took the spotlight off of us a little bit with the way that they lost. Because people kind of expected Tottenham to lose anyway. People still pivoted their view to us, which I don't mind because we're Liverpool. But at the same time, man, how can you have Real Madrid at the Bernabeu and PSG at the Parc de France, and then brother, I call it what I want. I reside over. Anyway, let me not talk too much. You know what I'm saying? How the hell can you have those two games coming up and you think you can run your gums about Liverpool losing 1-0 to Galatasaray? Run your gums. And I said this. I said, wait, this is why they're running their gums. Because their funeral's tomorrow. This is why they're running their gums. It makes sense to me now. It makes sense to me. So now it's just poetic, the fact that we're still in the tie and they're out. They're completely out. So now I'm going to react to their tears because I know they are out. Whereas us, at least we have a chance. Them man are out. So they can hold that. And I'll be reacting to their tears. Do you know what I'm saying? I'll be bottling them up and selling them on the street, on the side of the street.
Did Chelsea have the same scoreline as Atletico Madrid Tottenham?
Yeah.
Yes, they did. Yes, they did.
Liverpool, no, sorry, Chelsea. Chelsea City and Chelsea City Tottenham all lost by a 3-goal deficit.
And Chelsea and City fans had the most to say. They had the most to say, but they got dunked on. I had Ches telling me, "Oh, Mons, you have me next round, so you don't want to buck me." Well, I won't be, clearly.
Is anyone ever going to talk about Casado, or we just going to pretend he's still great?
Well, as I said,
yeah. Oh, Mons, quick question: was that a certain someone as a four-letter name with a C at the start of his name?
What do you mean? For who?
The guy that said you're gonna have to contend with me next round. Was that a certain?
Yeah, it was Ches, bro. Like, it was just doing all that woofing and duffing, bro. When you've got guys like Delap coming off your bench.
What did he do? Did he do the root? Did he do the root?
Nah, bro. Man was just saying, Salah sells oud on the street. Or Salah should be go back to selling.
Salah selling oud is crazy.
Crazy. I'm just saying bare things, bro. Saying that we're shit and you're gonna see a real European clash tomorrow. And you don't want to butt me in the cup, so you better hope I don't win. And I'm like, brother, you have PSG and you're trying to, you know what I'm saying, over inspect my game. Check your flipping mirrors, man. Check your flipping mirrors. And look, look, you made me do. I went to go have a word with my French people. Look what you made me do.
Selling oud.
You know what I'm saying? You don't want to call me French. Now I'm French. Look what you made me do. These people bring the worst out of me. Look what you made me do. Had to send a message over there. Get the job done. Look what you made me do.
Have Chelsea got 2 dodgy keepers as well, by the way?
Yep.
Please, man.
No. I'm gonna actually go to say this to you.
Jorgensen's worse than Sanchez. You know.
This is Sanchez is good though.
This is what Robert Sanchez said the day they got PSG. Give me PSG, man, so we can get them out, and they'll have no excuse this time as well.
Like, but you gotta remember, Chelsea have the French downgrades. Like they honestly have the French downgrades. Like, we saw Fofana versus Ousmane Dembele. We saw upper echelon of France versus just France.
Montel.
Stop it. That's where it is. No, that's where it is. These men had Malo Gusto and Fofana. Do you not understand that? Whereas they have Doué and Osman Dembele.
Oh, can I say?
You understand the echelon.
I need to say one more thing.
Jamie, it's like having Harry Kane.
Don't forget Badiashile.
Yeah, it's like Harry Kane. It's like Harry Kane and Declan Rice versus I don't know. I'm trying to think of the lowest level of English, that still plays. Who are we thinking? It's like Harry Kane and Declan Rice versus James Ward-Prowse and Connor Cody.
Liam Delap, bro. Liam Delap.
It's like Harry. I'm saying it's Harry Kane and Declan Rice versus Connor Cody and flipping, as I said, James Ward-Prowse, Ben Davis. No, he's Welsh, I think. But do you know what I'm saying?
Is Delap just another Andy Carroll?
Like, come on, man.
I just Jamie. I just clocked.
And that's no disrespect to Ward-Prowse. He's a bit older now, isn't it? But bro, come on now. You know what I mean?
I need to say this out. If anyone ever compares Declan Rice to Fatinia again, stop watching football. Please.
They're different players. I don't know why that even
Well,
started.
they're pretty much the same player. They play central midfield. They're just nothing.
Different roles, though.
Go and compare Declan Rice to Premier League winning Danny Drinkwater in that season, and you got the same player.
No.
No, as I said, it's just upper echelons of France. Like France is best right now. Like Doué and Dembele versus Gusto.
Mons, did you see Doué's control and pass to Dembele for the goal? It was disgusting.
Yeah, it's just
Doué is just a good player, bro. He's too good, man. Too good.
As Cole
Griezmann's touch for Julian Alvarez's goal.
Throwback.
Griezmann is one of my favorite all-time players. He's so underrated, man.
Tell that to Flawless. Flawless said he hides on the biggest stage all the time. Flawless thinks he's so mid.
Dude, Griezmann.
Yeah.
No. I've spoken to Flawless about this, bro. I've spoken to Flawless about
me and Flawless don't really disagree on that much, but I fully disagree on that.
No, Kyle, you just need to dig a little bit closer. You'll see the foolishness that Flawless comes up with.
What's wrong with Griezmann? Griezmann's a good player, man.
A baller, man. Griezmann's a baller.
Just getting older now, ain't he? That's all.
He's like 36. He's like 36.
Well, he's old, isn't he?
Like he's old. Like he's getting on.
Too good.
Smash the like button. Make sure you head over to a big up this evening at 10 p.m. for Vibes with Kopish on Jamie's channel. Ram is going to be doing a review of the Champions League now. Me and Mons are heading over to Never Foul, and you'll also be redirected to FamZone TV as well. So people, you've got your choice of content, but you can still watch content on replay as well. Do smash the like button. Subscribe if you're new to the channel. Boys, it's been a pleasure as always. We'll see you again. Stay safe, stay blessed. Kopish, we're out. That's crazy.